Hello travelers, I'm Wheelchair Jimmy. We just completed our 14-day Sydney, Australia to New Zealand Princess Cruise, and boy, we just had a great time. We really enjoy our cruises, and this was our third Princess Cruise. Even though this is a great way to see the world, it does have some accessibility issues, so I thought I'd make some observations and provide some travel tips if you're planning a cruise and you're in a wheelchair. Let me first make a couple quick observations. Princess always does a wonderful job with onboard wheelchair accessibility, including wheelchair accessible staterooms, onboard restrooms, and elevators. And the crews, they're always pleasant, they're smiling, and very, very helpful. Second, Princess Cruises is very proficient at assisting wheelchair users on and off the cruise boat at each port and assisting with tenders when necessary. The boarding and departing process may seem inconvenient or appear challenging, but Princess is very good with the process. Number 3, unfortunately, Princess takes no responsibility for wheelchair accessibility at the individual ports for the shore excursions. Now, I'm told they contract with local third-party providers. That way, neither Princess nor the local third-party provider really is responsible for accessibility. So my advice to you is, before you leave home, plan those port excursions very carefully, and that may mean planning independently of Princess. Number 4, often the excursion city is located a mile or so from the cruise port. Now, Princess will normally arrange a shuttle for the able-bodied passengers, but those are not always wheelchair accessible, so be careful and come prepared to arrange your own transportation. And do not necessarily rely on the Princess excursion desk. At least to me, they acted as if my wheelchair didn't exist, and they would not provide me the local taxi or tour company phone number. So again, be prepared before you leave home. Number 5, ship tenders. Now, every cruise line, including Princess, provides disclaimers that wheelchair users may not be accommodated on ship tenders. Now, if the weather is bad or the waters are choppy, wheelchair users will probably not be allowed to go ashore via these tenders. And this is totally understandable. You should also know that the Princess tenders are very large and very wheelchair accessible with the crew's help. So my advice is to go to the designated area in the ship, pick up your tender ticket, and act like you own the place. Tell them that you've always gone ashore using the tenders. Now, frankly, every time I get to a port that uses a tender, I'm still a bit apprehensive, but I've never been denied yet. So, be assertive, have fun. Number 6, in every city, town, and village in New Zealand, I found an eyesight visitor center. Now, these are operated independently in each city, but boy, they were just extremely useful in providing advice, tours, and transportation. And finally, before you leave home, do a little internet research and find the local taxi and tour company phone numbers. I normally find about 3 for each port, and I save those. Now, make sure your phone works internationally and you understand how to dial locally when out of your home country. There are 4 things you should know about the actual ship, the Sun Princess. Now, number 1, the Sun Princess is one of the smaller ships in the fleet. Number 2, the accessible mini suite is a bit smaller than on the larger ships, but reasonably spacious and I thought very wheelchair accessible. Number 3, the stateroom bathrooms were really quite large with well-designed pull-down shower bench seats and a reasonable counter space. Number 4, the balcony has maybe a 3-inch riser and is 2 inches across, making balcony access difficult. You'll probably need help to get out onto the balcony. Now, the larger Princess cruise ships have improved balcony design and provides easier wheelchair access. Let's talk about some of the individual ports. In the Bay of Islands, Bahia, you use tender boats here, and ours docked about a mile outside of Bahia. And I'll stop here and say some of the other cruise lines, their tenders docked directly in Bahia. But ours was about a mile outside of Bahia. They had shuttle buses for all the able-bodied passengers. No wheelchair accessible shuttle bus for us. One of the local volunteers offered to drive us in their personal car into Bahia, so we took them up and we did that. We had a great day. It was a beautiful day, but Princess really dropped the ball here in not providing any kind of wheelchair access where the tender docked us. The cruise ship docks in Auckland at a great location. There's no shuttle required. It's easy on, easy off. You're right there at the wharf on the city center. Just a great location, very accessible. In Taronga, the ship docks directly at the wharf of the city center, so there's no shuttle, easy on, easy off, nice day of accessibility, and a cute little town. The town of Napier is about a mile from the cruise port, and the shuttle is required. Now, they did have wheelchair accessible shuttles which transported us into town. I don't believe the large power chairs will make it onto these accessible buses. Once you're in Napier, boy, it's a cute, charming seaside village. Everything is very level, very easy to stroll around town. Downtown Wellington is very level, very accessible, and is about a 15-minute roll from the cruise ship dock. Now, they also provide wheelchair-accessible buses if you choose. Now, I rolled about 3/4 of a mile along the waterfront on a boardwalk from the cruise ship over to the DePapa Museum. It took me about 20 minutes, was beautiful, very level, and it was good exercise. The cruise ship uses boat tenders at Akaroa, and that tender goes directly into the port. There is no shuttle required, and the whole town of Akaroa is a cute little charming town, very level, very accessible. When you get to Dunedin, the cruise ship docks at Port Chambers, which is about a 20-minute drive from downtown. They do provide wheelchair-accessible shuttles here with fold-down ramps, and the buses drop you right off at the Octagon Square, which is the main shopping district in town. Now, alternatively, if you want to do some sightseeing, which is what we did, they do provide accessible taxis and vans right there at dockside. You know, I believe cruise ship travel is one of the best and most convenient ways for wheelchair travelers to see the world. And we just had a great time on our New Zealand cruise. Now, on the WHR Index, well, the Sun Princess, it would get a 4. It was very wheelchair accessible. Just be careful to plan those shore excursions carefully. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you'll watch our other videos on New Zealand's hotels, restaurants, and attractions, and other cities worldwide. Roll on, America!